So as you've noticed in the past week, we've seen a lot of interesting news come up. A lot of people pushing out content. And I just want to say, if we ever just pile on absolute dog shit just to push out content, we would hope that in the comments you would just destroy us. So, as a PSA, don't push out shit just to push it out. All right. Actually have to take a shit to push the shit out. Outcast Haven podcast starts now. So, did you guys hear the news? I guess Crucible Unlimited's going out of print, which, if you pay any attention to anything, you knew this because they said that from a long time ago. They said that they're unlimited, but they're not going to be unlimited prints. That's been said.
Yeah.
It I don't know. And then
the thing that bothered me the most about it,
the stuff and the butt hurt, and
yeah.
I guess so. My favorite, I don't know how to phrase him. He's like, you love to hate him, but he makes good points, and that's Rudy. Like his video about it,
Yeah.
and the LGS store analogy of people are going to rush in to buy all the boxes, and if they sell it for more than $90, they're a pile of shit. And if they don't have any because they sold them all at 90 to the last guy, they're a pile of shit. And there's just no way for people to win. And people, I don't know how many people put out that their orders were canceled because in the middle of the night, they went and bought them for $90, and then they were canceled in the morning. Oh, there was a glitch in the system or whatever the story.
Lots of glitches racked the internet.
Lots of glitches happen.
Yeah. Blake
but
looks high as fuck
I
right now.
agree that it was just it's a knee-jerk reaction, and there's a stockpile of Crucible everywhere. Like it sounds like there is so much of that product out there right now that's already printed that it could be just I'm going to go buy it up and hope it's going to be worth a little bit more in 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, so everything you need to know about it though is the fact that people are upset that they can't buy it and open it. That's the thing that they're upset about all of a sudden. And they're like, well, I was,
dude, we want to vote the players. It's
cards.
Like, fuck off.
Yeah, I'm still missing some cards though. Like now I can never open those packs and get those cards. You're like, right, that's what TCG Player is for. The Facebook Marketplace is for. If you look at the cards, that's what's funny about them is the singles prices really didn't go up that much. Like they went up a little bit, but a lot of the stuff is still the things that were $8 or 10 or 12. That's not a dramatic price increase. That's
only
not
the foils jumped.
Yeah, as they should, because they're the actual rare cards, right? Like those are the cards that are hard to find.
Majestic foils, I should say.
Yeah,
just normal foils didn't even jump.
Yeah. So I will say we had our local
stealing my thunder
Wednesday, and I got a pack, and I haven't opened it yet because this was after the word. This was after it came out. So if you want to send me $600 PayPal, I got a pack unopened, unlimited box fresh.
But let's talk about that for a second. So Tuesday the news comes out.
Yeah.
Our buddy Chris goes and buys a box real quick, Mr. Bates. He runs up, buys one. I gotta have one. I could have bought one. I'm like, I don't care. He was smart, he could probably turn around and sell it, whatever. So we're at Viral on Wednesday, and I'm gonna give them props just because this has been out. Everybody knows the boxes are jumping. We're doing an $8 Armory event. My only loss is to Dane.
Was that 1XP or 3XP?
It was a 3XP. I looked.
Oh, nice.
Triple XP. Dane beats me with Prism for my only loss. Pisses me off. But
so if I go on Saturday, I'm not going to get 3XP, or does it fucking matter?
It doesn't matter. I'm going to. Okay. Are you going on Saturday? Because I'm going on Saturday. I'm going to play.
Yeah,
Bravo.
I might be. I think I'm going to go.
Yeah, if I go, I'm going to play Bravo. So of a mirror. But for participation, guess what they gave us? Crucible of War. After you got your wins, what could you grab? Crucible of War. He didn't grab it and hide it or do anything. It was open. If you want that for your participation, guess what I didn't grab? I didn't grab Crucible of War because I have so much Crucible of War product from the original, like first edition. I didn't need it. I just grab Arcane because I can't have enough Command and Conquers. I'm up to 5. I just can't have enough Command and Conquers.
You've pulled what? You've pulled 2 from just like the store packs?
Yeah, I've only bought 1 Command and Conquer ever.
I mean, I'm just talking about like since you've started this whole like I want more Command and Conquers, you've pulled 2.
Yeah, I've pulled 2. Yep. So I just grab Arcane packs just because Commands and Tome of Fangdo, I believe, is in that one as well. But
that's
Command.
Welcome to Wraith.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So just the skull cap, which if I pull another skull cap, I'm just gonna keep it, to be honest, because I run that multi, which is really dumb. But it's like, then I don't have to switch it between decks.
Hey, one day Arcane Rising will go out of print, and that skull cap will be worth $40 billion.
Never, dude. It says unlimited right on the box. It's unlimited. It'll print forever.
Yep.
So I don't know.
After humanity has turned to dust, the fucking box said unlimited. It will never stop. It's impossible.
You're gonna be wandering a barren wasteland during
there's gonna be
apocalypse.
Old dude with a crank.
And there's gonna be one guy with a generator that's solar powered, and he's
Say
like,
I was rater.
No,
a generator.
People are gonna walk past him and just totally not acknowledge his existence, and he's gonna throw his hands up and be like, "They said unlimited."
I was supposed to print unlimited. I owe this to James White. If he shows up and I'm not printing this, he's gonna kill me. I'm in trouble.
The thing that kills me the most too is like, obviously they're gonna just shut off the printing on a supplemental set. It's like there's no point really. Like if it's flooded the market and it's all these people. I think I love watching people scramble for that value or that high. Like, so Rudy, I read a book. So it's Black Swan, and it's not the movie Black Swan. He's like a modern
whole Natalie Portman and Milo Kunis.
But in this book, they talk about
that's a good scene though.
Black Swan moments in the world, right? And Rudy mentioned it. I don't know if he was referring to this, but if it was super cool because I love that book. It actually shaped a lot of like my adult philosophy, right? But people trying to like recapture this like Black Swan moment of the pandemic hitting and Flesh and Blood just spiking to the moon, like all these people that are like, this is it, I'm gonna go get it again. And everyone, like, if you are an average person and you are not doing like a ton of research and you are just like having something pop up on Facebook and you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to capitalize on this, fucking thousands are thinking the exact same thing. You're not special. So
maybe more importantly, there's someone smarter than you who did it first.
Right. Yeah.
Like
I've been your whole Black Swan thing reminded me. So I've been watching, just because he passed away recently, a lot of Norm Macdonald stuff on YouTube, because Norm Macdonald is a true genius of comedy. He's super funny. And as you kept going Black Swan, I was just like, you just kept dragging it out like it was like a Norm Macdonald bit there for a little bit, where I didn't know if you were ever going to get to a point. I thought you were just going to, the Black Swan, and then maybe go to a different story about, some white swan or something. And then
it's because I couldn't remember the author's name, and I wanted to include it because I wanted to like.
No, it was good. It was Norm Macdonald's bits were amazing. I just
in honor of him.
Yeah.
No.
So let's get to the real spice of the week.
That's a really good book. I'm gonna link that in the description. I'm gonna put.
And so is the scene with Milo Kunis and Natalie Portman in the actual movie Black Swan.
We'll link that in the description too.
I'm more obsessed with the fact that Jason brought up Norm Macdonald, and I'm completely sucked into this. I don't believe in conspiracy theories, and this one's kind of dumb, but it's hilarious because years ago Norm Macdonald had a joke about how when he died he was going to haunt Tom Cruise's body. Like he was gonna live in Tom Cruise's body, something to that effect. and there's a picture of Tom Cruise at the NLDS at Giant Stadium where looks a little Norm Macdonald-y.
Is he doing is he laughing or something?
He's got a smirk. He looks a little chubby for Tom Cruise. He looks a little heavy set for Tom. He looks like Norm Macdonald, like at the end of his life when Norm was getting old and a little, rounder. I'm just saying, look it up. Google Tom Cruise, Norm Macdonald.
The funniest thing that he said, he's talking about, Bill Cosby was a hero to him and he was a great guy, and he had a buddy tell him, he's like, yeah, it just, the worst part of it all is the hypocrisy of Bill Cosby. That's the worst part. Norm's like, no, the worst part was the rape. Hypocrisy is way down the list. I would put rape, drugging the women. Hypocrisy is so far down the list of the worst things.
The worst part is it's funny. That's good shit.
Sorry. So if you look that up, it's hilarious because it takes him 5 minutes to tell that joke. If you watch it half the time, it is just, it's genius. So anyway, exciting.
You were talking about Rudy.
I was talking Rudy, but I'm past that.
All right, cool.
Rudy had some fun stuff come out. I like some of the shit he throws out there. It's fun to watch. And some of the stuff I don't like, but it's like everything. But Matt Rogers will be coming to America for the Dallas, Texas calling. It isn't Dallas, right? Dallas-Fort Worth.
Dallas-Fort Worth.
Which is depressing not to be going, and I know none of us are going.
Mm-hmm.
But that's exciting that he's gonna come in and play in America.
Yeah.
The question is it gonna be like the movie Coming to America? Because he's the king of Fab.
Yeah.
So I guess James White's the king of Fab. He's the prince of Fab. Looking for his Fab princess in America. One of those cosplayers. Would he be looking for
more of a Lexi style princess or a Briar? I see him more of a Briar style princess.
I mean, he loves
Lexi's
Dash.
a little flashy for him. He does
Dash.
love Dash. Yeah.
There was a Dash cosplayer in Vegas. He's trying to find his princess. That's what he's coming to America for.
Who's his handler? Would Nick be his handler? Would he be the Arsenio Hall?
It would make sense. Yeah, that
it would.
Nick,
I could see that would make good. Yeah.
It'd be a good movie. I'd watch it. I'd watch that.
It'd be entertaining.
If they made a vlog of Matt coming to America, I would watch it super hard.
Because Matt is truly a nice guy. Yeah. And the way Eddie Murphy was in that movie, and Nick's kind of, can be a little what's the word I'm looking for?
Happy. Like Nick can be super
slightly
happy.
Less,
he's happy.
Yeah,
but he's very Arsenio Hall like they're he's kind of pushing the boundaries in the background a little bit, not always doing what he's supposed to do. So it makes sense. So
yeah.
So that's exciting that he's coming to and obviously everybody thinks he's just gonna destroy all Americans. Well, I mean, we're not gonna be there, so I guess it's a possibility that he destroys everybody.
Yeah.
But
Jesus. Oh,
I will say the first thing that popped into my head when it was like Matt's coming to play, he was coming to the calling, Dallas-Fort Worth. The first thought in my head was, who gets to be the lucky soul in America who pulls up the round one pairing and it says Matt Rogers, and you're just like, hey, great.
Yeah, but what if you win that match?
Right. Yeah. That's the best opportunity ever.
You drop and you leave.
Would you just be like, if you won, would you just be like, oh, how was that 30-hour flight, bitch? Woo! America. And then a bald eagle flies over your head and there's some fucking explosions behind you.
Yeah. You definitely need you rip your shirt off for sure.
Oh, yeah. They're probably not even playing with the shirt when he sits down. They just rip it off beforehand. You're in America? Yeah. I play without my fucking shirt.
But we won't be obnoxious. So
no,
I'm just saying. I will say if you play Matt Rogers round one and you beat him, that's probably it. Like you probably just quit playing Fab. Like at that point there's no reason to continue because it's only downhill. It's only downhill from there. Because if you beat Matt Rogers round one and then you lose round two, like it doesn't matter that you beat Matt Rogers.
What is this trash though? So since we're on just obscure stuff, what is this thing that you sent me? Magic the Gathering is using movie posters for cards.
God, I just sent it because I saw it. No, those are actual. It's reprints of cards because Blasphemous Act is a real card in the game. Like that's a card that is in my commander deck.
Okay, it is really weird looking, and that's what they're doing. They're actually doing that.
Yeah. Those are real playable cards, and they're what do they call them? Secret layers. There's like a secret layer that's coming out with those.
Do you think the next supplemental set of Flesh and Blood will be like Call of Duty characters?
I mean, if they
Fortnite.
really want to appeal to the kids, they got to do Fortnite.
If they do that, there's always MHA. So Jason and I will just bounce on over and start playing that more.
But here's realistically, we've kind of talked about this before, right? Fab has younger players, but it also has kind of the median age of Fab seems a little older than some of the it seems a little older. So you would have to appeal to that generation. So you'd probably have to do like a Sonic the Hedgehog crossover or like a Mortal Kombat, something that was around on like Sega Genesis.
Mortal Kombat I could get on top of.
Yeah.
Voltron, maybe my age. Original Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man.
Maybe there will be like some sort of Voltron hero in
I can't even tell you both how much I hate all of this. It's just like the fact we're talking about it and that it's going to be on the podcast like hurts my soul.
Yeah, but it's Voltron the movie, not Fab, but Voltron the movie would be amazing.
So now we're just not talking about Fab at all right now. We're just saying in general a movie of Voltron would
just
be
a movie about Voltron.
I was trying to bring it back. I was trying to say we'll get another mech eventually, and maybe it'll be Voltron-esque where it's like the hero's big and you like build up your hero power or something. I don't know. I was just trying to.
Dash is basically a Voltron deck, right? She's basically building herself up to like a late game win con.
She kind of is, yeah. I guess
mech is Voltron, isn't she? She is a Voltron deck, yeah.
Mech is typically what you would refer to as like a Voltron deck in most games, where you just build up a single thing. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Were you guys super stoked? See, I like just coming back and I'm going to be all over the place tonight. In the
something new and different. Everybody, brace yourselves. It's going to be crazy and something you've never seen before.
On the Fab TCG website, the upcoming new set, TBA, Tales Beyond Aria, I believe is what that stands for. Tales Beyond Aria.
People made the joke Tales Before Aria. Yeah.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
But that joke's been made. Now I'm really pissed off. Can you cut that out? I don't want it on there anymore.
Yeah, I'll cut it out.
That's just trash.
That was like the first comment on the post.
I was actually just perusing their website. I didn't know. Oh,
yeah. Sorry, not to steal.
Right.
I'll cut it out so you don't look like a jackass.
Yeah. Quarter one.
You guys watch it tomorrow. It's like 4 minutes long. The whole podcast because I cut it out so you didn't look like a jackass.
You don't have to cut anything.
Yeah.
So, quarter one. So any time between January and March of next year will be the set.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder when they will release any details. I'm just hoping. So if it's supplemental, let's do some speculating.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'd all agree this has to be the supplemental set, right?
Yeah. I mean, everyone's saying people.
It sounds like.
Dude, they've subverted expectations before. I don't fucking 3 heroes. What the hell?
I thought that was good. I liked
it. And they could very well just be like, oh, yeah, it's not supplemental. And we'd all have to be like, sounds good.
I mean, I hope it is, but it probably only support the last 2 sets, correct?
Or all of them. Dude, who fucking knows?
But if you went 300 cards, you could support all sets.
Right.
It could be a 700 card set, dude. It could be a 700 card set, come with 10 packs in a box. We don't fucking, we don't know. Just 27 card packs makes 0 sense. They're like, this is how we're releasing this set, not supplemental.
Like the thick baseball packs you get, where there's
exactly
40 cards.
So, but if you think about it, right, the heroes that would get shafted if you didn't do all of them would be Mech, Ninja, and Brute. Not Brute, Mech, Ninja, and Wizard. Yep, Mech, Ninja, and Wizard, because those are the only three that haven't gotten anything. Which really would for Mech, it would be less of an issue, and Wizard because those decks are good and have a lot of flexibility in the way they're built, and they do what they do. And you have to be careful about kind of giving them too much more because they're kind of always good. I think realistically, you might just lose some Ninja players if you're like, yeah, we're not going to give you anything since Crucible. It's going to be not until another main set. It's going to be painful.
This is what it's going to be, right? So we've seen now that they can give a class support, and that class doesn't immediately become broken. So they're like worrying about giving mech support because it's already good. The mech, they could have it be lava mech and fuck all the dash, and then dash isn't any better, and that's fine. They're just going to do another set, and it's not going to be supplemental. It's just going to be the third set of this cycle. Is not going to be supplemental. It's going to be a 3-character set again, and it's going to be lava mech and Cloud Ninja, and I don't know, but they could do anything.
Though, if you're making up things, I want to hear what kind of wizard you're gonna make up.
Yeah, well, it's Sparkle Wizard. Obviously,
we have a Cloud Ninja.
No, Sparkler.
Wizard.
The Sparkle Wizard.
Sparkle Wizard.
Okay.
Yep.
Rainbow Wizard.
Ooh, I think it'd have to be Rainbow Ninja. I like that better than Cloud Ninja.
Rainbow Ninja.
Then Cloud Wizard.
And it'll be My Little
Wizard.
Pony art, just to compete with the Magic Secret Layers. It'll be fucking great, and everyone will be happy.
I see they also have come up. So
this feels like kind of just like a bullshit episode to me. I'll be honest. I'm just gonna throw a dip in. I'm not even gonna wait till afterwards.
Yeah, there's not much going on now until
What's up, guys? We're just hanging out.
We need the ProQuest results because
we just need results of anything. We can go for testing till our eyes are blue in it. I mean, that's all we've been doing is testing decks, and Bravo's just the king still. But I like using Fab TCG, just their website, to go anything in the world of Fab. And so they're saying October for Unlimited, and then North America will be November 12th. I feel like this product is not going to move very well once it hits the shelves.
No.
Yeah.
Unless they're using it for sealed.
Which I think is the goal. I think that's what they want. They don't want I don't think that, I'll be honest, I don't think that they want, I was thinking about this, right? The gap that they've had, and why would there be that gap between first edition and Unlimited that they have? And I think that we've been picturing it and envisioning it incorrectly. We've been imagining how they are picturing this working way different than how they are actually picturing this working long term. I think that they're going to want first edition to not be like a super collector heavy thing, which is what we assumed it was, because when the game started and it was small, it was extremely sought by collectors. I think first edition is going to be like, you get the cool foils, you pick it up, you get your play sets, and we're going to have enough for people that really want to go out and get the cold foils they want and stuff like that to go out and get it. But then we're going to have Unlimited for pumping out drafts and sealeds, and but it's not going to be like a super short print run that's going to be extremely high value, holding value from the get-go for first edition. I think this set is what they probably want for their future sets, right? Is this first edition. Everyone you're talking to kind of has what they want, right? Even not the collectors. And then Unlimited's going to come out, it's going to be on store shelves, and they're going to be able to run sealed and drafts. And it's going to be fucking awesome.
I hope there's a lot of sealed and draft. That would be that would be nice.
Well, I mean, they're running skirmish season. A lot of skirmish season is draft, so that makes a big difference in you need product availability. If you print the first run of Limited, and what ends up happening with it is it gets scooped off of shelves because people missed first edition, then what ends up happening is it's hard to do drafts, or you're telling people, hey, we can't sell it to you because we have a skirmish on Saturday. We don't have enough product. So to your point, Dane, if they print enough of it that it's available for draft, then people who just want to buy it, use it as prize support, just crack packs for a reason, they can just crack it and hope they come across things. But I think it also, if you think about it too, in the long term, cold foils will hold value. But cold foils become more of a long play versus the hopefully I open one and it's worth $10,000 today because it's an alpha cold foil, whatever. But instead now it's like, well, it's worth a couple $100 today because they're pretty widely available. But once unlimited drops, they don't become less existent. They just become less available because less people are likely to let go of them. So they'll start to creep up in price simply because people go, well, I don't want to let go of mine because it's going to be hard to get another one because they're not as readily available and people don't need them to play. So people who just are playing with them probably tuck them away and pick up their unlimited ones with the rainbow foils to kind of throw in their deck boxes as they come out. Because, I mean, personally, that's what I do. Like as the unlimited version comes out, if I notice that the price is kind of down on the cold foil that I have, I'll just snag it for $50 or $60. And then that's the one that kind of gets beat up in my going in and out of my deck box and stuff. I take the cold foil and I, put it in a top loader because we're animals. I don't put any of my stuff in top loaders. It's double sleeved and I slide it in my deck box. That's how my Crown of Seeds is.
I don't even double sleeve anymore. I just Crown of Seeds,
double-
all of them, even my shield. It's just in a sleeve. I don't care. I'm gonna play it forever.
Sleeves, so
I hate to. I had this thought because it was actually a local Jur. If you're watching, he plays it viral, but he just finished his like collector's set of the Tails.
Yeah, master set.
The master set. Yeah, where he's got like all the cold foils and everything for it, and I think that like that's gonna be like seeing that level of getting things is gonna be like what you see out of collectors.
Yeah,
much more so than, and that's going to be like, those are the people that are going to want to like pick up the cold foils and stuff like that. But it's going to be a much more even playing field for like the rest of the cards. Like you're not gonna have, it's going to be a limited printing, not extremely short printed.
What scares me about unlimited is basically you're going to go to draft or sealed, or this is how I'm envisioning unlimited. If I pull a legendary, I will keep it, or a fable.
Yeah.
Majestics will be worth 75 cents. And I'm not being like sarcastic. They will be worth 75 cents for a Majestic. And you'll just, whoever the newest player in the room is, will get my cards. And I'm not going to keep any of them.
That or you'll see even more so than what is already happening because we've seen some of it. But like from the beginning, we were hyping up having the player base driving a lot of the secondary market. You might like, I would be fine seeing like the Majestics that are being run in one of the top 3 or 4 popular decks being $5 Majestics. Like that's something that like that's cool with me. I hope to see like the meta driving the secondary market just a little more.
Even Terra Sunder is only $7 in first edition, and it's one of the best cards for one of the best heroes right now.
Right.
Bravo.
Yeah.
But that again, the cult of Bravo is kind of ironically feels small because even at the calling where he felt like the best meta call into chain, he was very underrepresented for what his ability to play into chain was because Bravo's a control deck and people don't like to play control. That's just the end of the story when it comes to that. People don't like to play control in any game. Like your faction of control players is typically pretty limited. But if you look at Monarch Unlimited, I think to Dane's point, the is driving the value there is all of the cards that would go into chain and all of the cards that are Majestics that would pretty much go into Prism are your higher value cards. And then all of the stuff that's underplayed is $1 or $2 Majestics. They're basically worthless. So it becomes one of those things where the meta is driving the market, which is what we've always said we would prefer it to be. Because if you look at like the Majestics of value, Valiant Dynamo, what's it running? Valiant Dynamo is run in Axe's Dory or Saber's Bolton, maybe, but not even in Saber's Bolton. So it's $55. It's worthless. Footsteps, Husk, and Vestige of Soul are $100 to $130.
Yep.
It's like those are the three legendaries that are used, and the market demands that they be of value,
and they're
valuable.
And this is why like a little spitefully, I want this to be the case, is because this benefits people who can make meta calls. Like people, right? If this was being, which it kind of already is, but people who are guessing what is going to crush. Like if someone's like, I'm taking a shot, I think Lexi's going to be really, really good. I'm going to pick up a bunch of her Majestics right now for the 150 that they are on TCG Player, and she's going to like be 3 of the top 8 or something crazy, whatever, just as an example.
Mm-hmm.
And then all those Majestics go up to $6. Dude, that's like you double your investment or whatever, quadruple it. Like that's like that is a way that you can invest and be on that side of the game, but it benefits people who know the game still, which I like.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool. That's what I like
People
about
are
like, DVS
under
and stuff too. People will go into like regional season and stuff and be like, this deck's doing really good, and I think this card is going to get run and it's really underpriced, so I'm going to buy a bunch of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's in the top deck? 2 of this card. And it's like, oh ho, you guys want this card? Because I've got 400.
Yeah. All of a sudden, one TCG account is 50 cents cheaper than everybody else, and everybody else has 1 or 2, and they've got 60.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's meta calling.
That's just good. That's just good business.
Yeah, and it benefits good business by good players versus good business by quote unquote market people. So the meta determines. But I mean, even to your point, Jason, if you look at the cards that are good, or the cards that are sought after a legendary, what are the most expensive cards that are it? They're the good cards. They're Channel Lake Frigid, awful to deal with.
$9 card
to destroy. Even Winter's Whale, which typically if you only need one of a card, that drives the price down pretty hard. But Winter's Whale is $7, which
you need 2 of it. Buy them up now, because Top Deck's going to be running 2 Winter's Whales.
So speaking of metas calls, remember like, let's go back in time like 10, 11 years ago, and you'd have like a Masters, and you'd have Tiger Woods versus the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd make your bet on your odds of Tiger Woods, the field. So for meta call for Dallas, I'm going to pick players instead of decks, because players win, not decks. So so after watching ProQuest, obviously Blake, you did very well. We saw our buddy Chris do very well. We saw Rob do very well. If you're picking players, and I don't know a lot of the other people that did well on constructed, because constructed great players don't always mean sealed great players, because I did horrible at sealed, and I've really turned that around, especially in draft. My record's getting really good. I'm very happy with where I'm at draft wise. I've done very well with that. And sealed better.
Yeah, you remember how you just hated sealed because you were just
but I think it was because I was impatient on my building and selecting of cards.
Mm-hmm.
And draft, I like this format of draft. Anybody that thinks Briar's great, please draft Briar, especially if you're in my card pool, because I'm gonna destroy you. I will. It's how I feel. I'll draft Oldham and I'll just win. It's an easy win for Oldham in draft, to be honest with you. So if you're looking at sealed and then it goes into draft, Matt Rogers, we're going to put at Tiger Woods, or should we compare Tiger Woods to Matt Rogers? I'm not sure which way to go, but you got Matt into the field. Where do you think his odds would be? Like, would he like a 7-1, 10-1 favorite? I mean, he's gonna be low. Let's say this doesn't draw as many as the calling, okay? Of the Vegas calling, which was constructed, which was 700.
Feasibly it wouldn't, right?
Right. So let's say 500 people show up for this one for the calling. Maybe more people show up for the Pro Quest and for the side events. They'll probably draw over 1,000 total. You might have people that sign up just to get the door prizes and then actually participate, because we did see a lot of that as well, where people just signed up for the door prizes to get the mats and all that stuff. I'm gonna put our buddy Rob top 8ing this event, and I don't think that's a outlandish call. I just think he does well into this format.
He's been practicing a lot. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna put him up there. I know there's a lot of other guys.
I think Brendan. I think Brendan will do well. I mean, this is just assuming they're going, right? Because we don't know who's for sure going, but like Brendan's an amazing player. Like Arsenal Pass, like I would be surprised if he didn't do really well if he's going.
Yep. But I mean, for favorite, could you put anybody above Matt? I mean, though he doesn't have probably the experience in the
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. But here's the thing: like one of the things we've talked about before is that sealed evens the playing field for players who can't get access to good cards, but it also makes the field incredibly even for just high skill players because nobody is going to have an insane deck. So this game, more than any other game, benefits in sealed good players. And that's why usually if you go to local events with sealed events, if you see these sealed events, you typically see the same people winning or the same people doing well. It's not just the top isn't a hodgepodge of who played X deck, right? You don't win because you go, oh, I just drafted Briar, so I win. To Jason's point, if you play well and somebody plays poorly, then you can win those games. So sealed kind of evens the playing field everywhere. It kind of closes the gap from the top down because they're not playing the best deck per se, but they're still the best pilots. But it also kind of brings the floor up a little bit to where people aren't losing because they go, well, whether we like to admit it or not, if you play certain decks, CNC is pretty good, right? Like if you're playing Katsu's a good deck, but if you can't afford E-strikes, it makes a difference on an off turn to not be able to finish somebody off with an E-strike for 7. It's like stuff like that just doesn't happen. So there might be some good pilots who don't own 3 E-strikes or 3 CNCs or 3 Art of Wars that all of a sudden are like, well, I'm a good pilot, I just don't always have the best deck, and they'll be better. But then you're going to still have your middling people who are like, yeah, I think I'm pretty good, and they're going to go and they're going to be just right in the middle. But good pilots win in sealed still. Like that's one of the best parts about this game. Like opening a good pool doesn't win you games.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing too, is to your point, opening a good pool not winning you games. Like you need to know the set. You need to be practiced in that. You need to actually practice sealed and draft in the set. Otherwise, like your knowledge is going to take you places for sure. But I'd imagine that people that have played a ton and know typically what they're going to be presented with and what they should take when they have it, and like that knowledge is going to, and being able to like read the rest of the pool and like know when you get a pack what's been probably taken, what people are probably running, what you're going to be competing with for cards, like that's going to be huge. And being able to have the practice and reps on knowing what that looks like is going to be really, really important. So
yeah, I stayed away from lightning in our last draft just because there was no lightning cards coming my way ever. Like I pulled the ice first just because the best card that was in my opening pack was an ice card. What my best element card was, but a lot of people were drafting lightning, and you can see that through the packs as they come. There was people going big earth, so I just stayed with the ice and got the not so big earth cards late, which still, as long as they're blue and they say earth at the bottom, Oldham's like, cool, I can use you. You're my buddy. You're my boy, blue.
I think it's also important to point out that our boy Kale did mention that he and Matt played some sealed. So Matt, people are like, well, Matt, yeah, he's like, Matt hasn't had a ton of experience though because they're at lockdown, and Kale's like, nah, we played some games. So
and he's got a store. I think he's got access to product.
Yeah. And let's be realistic. Let's be realistic, right? If you're Matt Rogers and you sit down and go, I need to test sealed, and you sit down with Kale, 5 or 10 games of sealed against Kale McCreath is basically like the rest of us trying to take a master class from a community. We've played 50 games of sealed locally, but that's still only half of what experience Matt got playing Kale. So let's just be realistic.
And whoever else is over there playing, like there's so many good players that I'm sure if Matt's like, hey, I'm going to the calling in Dallas, he's gonna get 20 hands in the air, like let's jam games. So
there's actually a draft event tonight at a store I've never been to in Coon Rapids. I'm probably gonna go to
tonight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. Question mark tonight.
Oh, come
Dane,
on,
you
Jamie.
said
We were doing
always
so
just no.
good.
No,
We were doing
I'm
so good.
calling it.
Yeah,
You said
Friday.
just own it. Just own it.
What? No. You guys totally. That's the whole thing where it's like the wife mentions something for Christmas, and you're like, "Oh yeah, now they know they're getting an Xbox," and the kids are like, "We are getting an Xbox." It's like no one knew. No one knew that I was.
I
I
know.
was questioning.
No, I know, but it was funny.
It's more fun to point it out. It's more fun to point it out.
Yes.
That's
yes.
fair. All right.
So there's a draft tonight, and I might go do it just because I do enjoy a good draft. They're fun, and see how it goes, have some fun, and then probably come to your neighborhood on Saturday since the whole family's gonna be out of town all weekend. Mason works and the wife's gone, so
Nice.
probably play some cards. What else are you gonna do?
I gotta start going to those on Saturdays because that's when he does the mats. It's like it doesn't matter if I
So
win
that's why
Wednesdays. I gotta go.
I'll
on
probably
Saturdays.
be mirroring Blake, and I gotta get the list put together because I don't have my Bravo up to date. But if I'm going to play for a mat, then I actually have to bring a real deck.
Well, if you're going to play for a mat, I'll send you a different list. Oh.
If he'll be there. All right, let me.
I still don't have a tails mat, man. I'm waiting on.
Let me
Cincy.
message Kale and get the fucking list.
Kale's like, Blake has it. Why do you need to get it from me? And Jason's like, because he's being a dick
for competition reason.
Kale might actually be like, ooh, I don't know. Now do I give it away if it's a competition?
Kale's messaging Blake, hey, what's the shit list that you're gonna give him?
Yeah. Jason's like, this is weird. Why are there 9 Flock of the Featherwalkers in here? You're going double Titan's Fist? Yeah, man, it's spice, baby. Double Titan's Fist, Flock of the Featherwalkers, bravo.
Is it weird? It's like this happened before the calling as well as I play every other deck for all these, but then it's like, okay, if it's a semi-serious event, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna bring Bravo. So I don't even focus or work on him. If I want to try to compete to win, that's just what I'm gonna grab and go try.
I think the lack of practice will definitely lead you to victory. That's where it's at. That's the secret, is like not practicing with the deck you want to win with.
Bravo is the same build with the same cards. You just do a couple things differently. I mean, he's Bravo. Been playing Bravo for a year and a half.
Bravo.
Literally the first deck I bought from the source a year and a half ago, one July evening.
Yep. I bought Bravo and I bought Dorinthia. Those were my
same two.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Dane.
Yeah, I've been playing Prism for about a year and a half too. I've got over 350 hours on her. Like it's.
I've got 350 hours easy on Bravo in the last like 4 weeks.
Yep.
It's all I do.
I think I have 350 hours on Lexi since Monday. Does that math work?
Yeah,
Does it work?
Yep.
It doesn't matter if the math works. You just say whatever you want.
With it. Yeah. Okay.
We'll put
I
it,
got.
we'll
I
put it in
mean,
the title.
We got 10,000 hours of fab between the three of us experience in this room. This week, 10,000.
Yep.
I'm gonna get a chess timer now. So every time we play, is that how they work? They go down. I need some kind of timer that goes up to start. I'm gonna start recording my hours of play. I will tell you this. I have 900 hours of Tabletop Simulator lifetime play because it tells you how much you played.
Yeah. It does tell you. I always forget about that.
Which was when I saw that, I'm like, I think I've only owned that for 3 years. That's really depressing. So if I'm depressed by having 900 hours of TTS play in 3 years, imagine if you're a person that your life is so miserable that you have 350 hours of card play in 4 weeks. Just think about that.
That's
Like, how do you afford the cards at that point? Because do you have like a sugar mama? So I'm more curious than the gameplay. I'm curious behind the logistics of eat, sleep. Who is your cash cow that is paying you to do this? Because obviously you don't have a job. You don't get out of the house at all for groceries or anything like that. So what's the logistics behind 350 hours in 4 weeks?
There's not. That's 12 and a half hours a day. That's not even, there's no logistics.
it happened. It was posted on a YouTube post.
Haven't you ever?
It's real.
It's South
The
Park
internet
guy,
said it was real, dude.
the South Park guy, right?
Yeah.
Just sitting on TTS 12 hours a day.
Playing Warcraft.
Yeah.
But then they had Cartman's mom that was bringing him the food, and they just shit, and she'd have the bedpans out for him. But then he has to find people to play.
It's all your answers. You just play on what is it felt table. You just goldfish yourself. You play by yourself, both hands on Tabletop Simulator.
And that's going to be the best. That's the best practice anyways, because you're the best player. So
yeah, I'm so good. I can't find anyone to test with me, so I just play with myself.
Wait,
playing with yourself makes yourself good.
What just happened?
I'd be great.
I'm a life.
You play with yourself, you win every time.
You win every time.
That's a true statement in life in general.
In life in general.
Can that be the name of it? If you play with yourself, you always win.
Yeah.
I got nothing else for you. That's all I got. Waiting for results of the Pro Quest.
Mm-hmm.
And the calling, obviously, and to see who wins as a person. Don't really care about the decks. It's gonna be Oldham. But yeah, we'll be curious to see what happens. It might not be Oldham. I don't know. Who knows what people's draft? On Pilot. Well, the draft part of it for the finals
will be the determining factor. Yeah.
Right. So you really don't have a hero that wins because they're going to be changing so much. You never know what you'll have.
I think we are going to see. I love that they're cutting to draft for the tops, because I think that if it was just sealed, you would see, you'd get that good player who sees that they have a good Briar pool, and they just end up wrecking face all the way to the top because they've got the tools that they need to capitalize on the fact that they're a good pilot. I think that a good So this is my issue, is that I think like a good Briar pool that's capitalized on is better than any of the other heroes' good pools. Like I think that I think average Oldham just runs through Briars and Lexies. I don't disagree with that at all. But like I think that if you have a good pilot on that happened to get a good Briar pool, it's really, really hard for any other deck to compete with that. So I think that that's what we'd see. So cutting to draft is awesome because it resets that, and that's lets the practice players shine.
It also, like, draft is also a skill. Like knowing, like reading the pool. I mean, there's a reason that the official Flesh and Blood YouTube account has Pack One, Pick One as a pretty highly viewed series, because people are interested, because that first pack, what you're picking is significant, and what you're signaling to the person next to you. And we laughed at locals because it's definitely, I'm excited to draft with strangers, because I got sat down in our draft pod last week. I sat next, Jason was to my right.
We already did this whole story last week.
Yeah, just like having that go like makes a significant difference. Right. I'm just saying like having that knowledge makes a huge difference. Whereas there's the skill cap for draft goes way up when you don't know who drafts what. So not having people in your pod makes a difference, and the chances of you having someone in your pod is pretty much none. And I mean, you might know them at the calling if it's top 64, but that doesn't mean you know what they're going to draft or what they prefer, how they play. So that's going to be really interesting to see, just like how people draft in that environment, because high stress.
For sure. All right. Well, I think that's all we got today for you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so that you get the notifications when our gameplays are going up, because we've got a bunch of those recorded. Excited to see these results. I'm excited to play more, man. Dude, I haven't been this excited to like go to locals in months, just because like sealed and drafts are so much fun to like sit down and just play. It blows my mind to think of where I was thinking about a sealed and draft format in any game, like even just a year ago. Even hearing that that's what the focus was, or not the focus, but that's what a big part of this game was going to be, I was still like, cool, whatever, I'll play CC, I'll play Blitz, whatever the constructed formats are. But yeah, it's so much fun. So get out there and do it if you haven't yet. If you're like me and are just heavy on the constructed formats, play some sealed, play some draft, take it seriously. and have a blast. We'll talk to y'all next time. See you.